Hello, welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, the teachings of Rav Eliezer Melamed Shlit'a. I just wanted to begin today's shir with a dedication. Today we will be holding the levaya for one of our most beloved members, Holocaust survivor, Lucy Pantirer, Zachor Levracha, Hinda Leah bas Aryeh Leib, Aleha Shalom, a true matriarch of an incredible family. So to the Pines, Pantirer, Schwartz families, and to the many, many descendants, of course, her beloved husband, Murray Pantirer, Zachor Levracha, whose yahrzeit is also this week, two incredible individuals who built communities, built Torah, and most importantly, built family, Jewish families. And it is a very, very sad goodbye for us and a tremendous loss for our community. So may her holy, holy neshama have an aliyah. And I'd like to dedicate today's learning in her honor and in her memory. We discussed yesterday Zachor v'Shamor, the relationship between positive commandments on Shabbos and negative commandments. So what I'd like to do now is we're going to take one at a time. First, a little Zachor, and then tomorrow, Mirza Hashem, a little Shamor. B'mitzvah Zachor es Yom HaShabbos l'kadsho, litztavenu lizkor es yisodos ha'emuna. As we had mentioned, that when the Torah says you should remember the Sabbath day and sanctify it, so remember the foundations of faith. V'lachein mitzvahs haShabbos hi haraviyah shebeseres hadibros. Therefore, the Shabbos is the fourth of the 10 commandments. Shebetchilin itztavenu lahamin l'das es Hashem. Because to start off the 10 commandments, or statements of relevance, however you'd like to place them or label them, the first we have is the mitzvah to know and believe in Hashem. Because the pasuk says, Anochi Hashem Elokecha asher hotzeitzicha me'eretz Mitzrayim mibeis avodim. That first, you remember that I am Hashem, your God, who took you out of Egypt, from the house of slavery. The second of the commandments is to not worship idols, which was obviously prevalent at the time, and the pasuk says, Lo yiyeh lecha Elohim acherim al panai, lo sa'aseh lecha pesach v'chol tmuna, lo sishtacha v'lehem, v'lo sa'avdeim. You cannot have any other gods in my face, you cannot have any molten graven images, and you shall not serve them or bow down to them. And bashlishis, nitztavenu lechabed es shmo v'lo yishava bishmo l'sheker. And the third of the commandments is you have to honor Hashem's name, and you cannot swear falsely in God's name. And then baravias, and the fourth one is tavenu al yom haShabbos. We are commanded about Shabbos, shu hayom shabbatei b'foelas yisodos emunah, because this is the day that expresses and gives us expression to our true faith. Amru b'Zohar shekol kolei hamuni v'yisodoseh kashurim b'Shabbos. So the Zohar says that all principles of faith, all aspects of faith, and the hidden and the revealed are all tied up in Shabbos. Which I might parenthetically add, that this may be why when we look at the definition of a person's observance, the first thing that always comes out is Shabbos. Because if a person keeps Shabbos, that means a person has a certain level of faith. Shnei Yisodis anu zochrim b'Shabbos. So we remember two fundamentals, two foundations on Shabbos. Harishan hu brias olam. As we mentioned yesterday, the first is creation of the world. Shabbos is testimony that Hashem created the world in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. And from then until this very moment, Hashem continues to sustain and allow the world to survive and to live. The second foundational principle is that Hashem took his nation out of Egypt. So aside from what we said for Bereshis, for creation, that God creates and sustains the world, not only that, Hashem also watches over it. Hashem guides it. Hashem punishes the wicked, rewards the righteous. And Hashem has chosen us, the Jewish nation, to be his nation, through which his providence will be revealed in the world. Amr Chachamim, Rav quotes the Medrash in the Mechilta, Shebemitzvah Zachor es Yom HaShabbos HaKadosho, Nitztaveinu lizkor es haShabbos gam b'chol yemos hashavua. When it says you should remember the Sabbath day to sanctify it, we are also commanded to remember the Shabbos every single day of the week. This way, we're always thinking about Shabbos, we're always thinking about preparing for Shabbos and what we have to do for the Shabbos. The Levim in the time of the Beis HaMikdash, and much like we do today in davening, we say today is the first day of Shabbos. It is the second day of Shabbos. And this is how we do so each day. Kolomar, ein yemos hachol yomim mifnei atzman. There are no weekdays that stand alone. Elhem yonkim es mashma'usim baracham miyom hashabbos. Because rather, all of their meaning, all of their measure is all drawn from the Holy Shabbos. Achein. Uvtehi shebesafa ivris she lashon hakodesh monim es kol yemos hashavua k'vi yachsam l'Shabbos. So therefore, when we count in Hebrew the days of the week, we always relate it to Shabbos. Rishon Sheni, Mash Eikem Manglis, Tzarfatis, Safos no Safos. In English, in French, in other languages, Shalakol Yom Yesh Shem Ifnei Atzmo. Every day has its own name. B'derech klal Pishemos Ha'elilim HaKodmim, Lolo Shum Zika L'Shabbos. Quotes this as the Ramban as well. In other words, when we talk about today is Tuesday, today's just Tuesday. We don't say it's Tuesday related to Saturday. It's not Tuesday related to Wednesday. It's just Tuesday. It's just Thursday. It's just Friday. However, when we speak in Lashon HaKodesh, it's not Tuesday. It's not just Shlishi. It's Shlishi b'Shabbos. It's Sheni b'Shabbos. Everything stems from, draws from, and emanates from the Shabbos. As Iker Mitzvah Zechiras HaShabbos Mekayim B'Kiddush. The main way, so if I ask you, how do you remember the Shabbos then? What's the proper way to remember the Shabbos? The main way we do so is with Kiddush. Shebo onu maskirin es tamtis inyana shel haShabbos. Because through this, we actually mention out loud, and we also talk about the main topics of Shabbos. And the rabbis instituted, again, this is all based on the Gemaras found in Pesachim and other places, that we should always say Kiddush on a cup of wine and near a meal, close to a meal, because we want it to be something that's enjoyable, something that brings us happiness, gladness, and also some physical enjoyment. Pasuk in Yeshayahu says, and you shall have Shabbos. When we call Shabbos, it should be oneg. It should be something that is pleasurable. And even though when we say Kiddush, we do fulfill the mitzvah of remembering Shabbos, nevertheless, it's not just making Kiddush and that's it, we're one and done. The entire day of Shabbos has to be completely sanctified. Shne'emar, Zachor es Yom HaShabbos, because the Pasuk says you have to remember the day of Shabbos, but what? Likadisho, to sanctify it. Shetiyeh HaShabbos kulam yu'edes ledvarim shebegedusha. The entire Shabbos should be dedicated, devoted to things of sanctity. La'asok b'Torah, l'shmo direi chachamim. We should have Torah study. We should learn together. We should sing together. We eat together. We enjoy together. We refrain from the mundane weekly matters, and we engage in Shabbos types of activities. So again, as we continue our study this week, this is Zachor. Tomorrow we'll look at Shamar, but we always have to bear in mind and keep the positives at the forefront of our mind, the positives of Shabbos, because so often we think only of the negatives of Shabbos, but the positives of Shabbos. And again, our deepest condolences to the Pines, Pantirer, and Schwartz families on the passing of Lucy Pantirer, Zichrona Livracha, Hinda Leah bas Aryeh Leib, Zichrona Livracha, may her holy neshama have an Aliyah, and as she goes to her final rest after a very long, arduous, difficult, but fulfilling and meaning life, she will understand now, next to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and her beloved husband, Murray Pantirer, Zichrona Livracha, ultimate rest, the true Shabbos of Olam Haba, and again, may her neshama have an Aliyah.